Hi, loves. So it has been a couple weeks since I've come on, and today I'm coming on to talk about this question of feminine energy. And the title of this live is, Truth Bomb, Feminine Energy Isn't What You Think It Is. And, I've been having conversations with private clients for actually years now about this concept and some of the issues with the way it's presented and just like the mainstream conversation around it. And I've seen a lot of it talked about in just the coaching space and different coaches. And there are some issues with the way it's being presented. So I want to break down why most of the teachings on quote unquote being in your feminine are unhelpful at best and shaming at worst. So if you're hopping on with me live, just say hi. I'd love to know who's here. And if you're catching the replay, just do hashtag replay, say hi so I can say hi to you. So I use feminine and masculine terms only in very specific ways and contexts. And, these days I avoid it more than use it, except for right now. I'm spending some energy trying to just explain a little bit and like correct a lot of misconceptions that are out there. So there is a lot out there that's like, being feminine is the answer. If you want to find your soulmate, if you want like a man who's like a really quality man, you have to be feminine. And then you'll see content like 5 tips to be more feminine, or here's a feminine way to speak, or here's a feminine response, or feminine texting tips or scripts, or this is how a feminine woman should behave with a man. And you'll notice I don't really do that a lot because I find most of that to be pretty useless and sometimes the opposite of helpful. Because all of that, what it will do is it's going to lead to someone performing being feminine and not actually authentically just embodying it and being it. And this is why. So you can only be in your quote unquote feminine energy when you have a regulated nervous system. When you have a regulated nervous system, you will naturally and effortlessly be more quote unquote feminine or have more quote unquote feminine qualities without trying to be feminine. So if you're trying to, you're not actually being it, you are performing, you're faking, it's not it, right? And so that will actually take you even further out of the relaxed nervous system state that it really is and put you even more in your head. Like, am I doing it right? What am I supposed to say? Did I say the right thing? Did I say it the right way? Did I do it the wrong way? Like, you're completely in your head. You're not at all being in your body. And it's not authentic. And authenticity is one of the most attractive and magnetic qualities in a person. So I want you to understand that we have 2 states our nervous systems can be in at any time. So you can either be in a parasympathetic nervous state or a sympathetic nervous state. So we move in and out of these nervous system states fluidly all day long if we are healthy, if we have regulated nervous systems with larger windows of tolerance. So feminine energy traits are actually just signs of a woman who has a calm, peaceful, non-activated, non-triggered nervous system. So essentially someone who is in her parasympathetic nervous system, the rest, digest, relax nervous system state. So masculine energy in a woman is more of the sympathetic nervous system. It's what activates us into fight or flight, to face a perceived threat, right? So it's our quote unquote on state where we need to be alert and take action because there's a threat, right? And so a constantly activated nervous system, a sympathetic nervous system state, is what I have been calling all these years like being in false masculine energy. So that's what it is, right? And so what do we do when we perceive danger or when our nervous systems are perceiving threat, right? Well, we are automatically going to be more on guard. We are going to be more on the defensive. We are going to be tense and tight. We'll feel anxious. We're going to be hyper alert. We'll be in our heads more than just in the moment, right? We will easily startle. We will easily get triggered. We become argumentative because we're on edge, right? We get into more of an attacking energy. We try to control what we can control. We do not show our more vulnerable sides because that would be dangerous. Why would you do that if there's a threat, right? And so we either go into fight or flight, which is all those things, or we could go into freeze, which is just shut down, right? And aren't those things kind of like all the things that the feminine energy coaches are like, or feminine energy teachings are like, don't do that, don't be that? How helpful is that for someone to say? Like, if someone were to be like, don't be angry when you're angry, or don't be sad when you're sad, or don't be scared when you're scared. Like, when we're feeling those things, how helpful is it for someone to say don't? It's not helpful, right? It probably makes it worse. So if you lean towards anxious attachment, fearful avoidant attachment, or avoidant attachment, it means that your nervous system is primarily wired to be in a sympathetic nervous system state. Meaning your fight, flight response, or freeze, is almost always stuck on. So you're hyper aroused most of the time. And so this is why you always feel that like low level anxiety. This is why small things can trigger you and get you into that fight flight state. This is why you notice exactly how long it takes for him to text you back. This is why you're always reading into things and stuck in your head. This is why you can be guarded and closed off. This is why you can't release the need to be in charge and to control things. This is why you get stuck in overwhelm or replaying things in your head. And this is why your mind loops in negative ways. This is why you either have trouble setting boundaries and saying no, or you overreact to things and attack, right? And this is why you either can have these overwhelming emotions or feel completely disconnected from your emotions. And this is why you're going to find it almost impossible just to be present and go with the flow, right? So all these things are signs that you're stuck in a hyper aroused nervous system state. And why are we stuck in that state? Well, because we have trauma. We have negative experiences from childhood, wounds from childhood, repeated things that created this in us, feeling not safe, feeling not seen, not heard, right? And then added experiences throughout our life, in our adult life, that put our nervous systems on edge to mostly be stuck in that state. It's not your fault. This is your body trying to protect you. It was a good thing that it happened when you needed it, right? Because it did protect you. It did the best it could. So this is not even shaming you for having those responses. If you don't have positive associations with men, you're not going to be able to be in a relaxed state around them, right? If you've been hurt before, are you going to be able to just relax and trust? If you have core wounds that say, I'm going to be abandoned, are you going to be in a parasympathetic nervous system state when you really like someone and have gotten attached? No, of course not, right? You're going to be on edge. You're going to be worried that you're going to be abandoned. You're going to be in that other nervous system state, and it makes sense. And so this is why the idea of just being present, just being relaxed, just be open, just be yourself seems impossible. It's like, nice idea, not like in practice, I don't understand how, right? It's because you don't feel safe on a physiological nervous system level. So concepts like surrender or releasing control isn't going to happen, really, and nor should it. And you know what? It's actually like thank you nervous system for trying to keep me alive. Thank you for trying to protect me. Thank you for creating these protective mechanisms that at one point in my life I needed because I didn't have other resources and skill sets that I have now. So thank you for what you're trying to do for me. You know, instead of shaming ourselves, instead of rejecting this aspect of ourselves that is literally trying to help us, that actually loves us. It's like trying to keep us alive. It's trying to keep us safe. It's trying to get us what we want. So can we love us enough to just love that too? That's the first step to healing it, by the way. So, to get in that beautiful state that gets called quote unquote feminine energy, where you feel so safe, so centered, so grounded, so open, so yourself, so embodied, able to relax, able to trust, be yourself, let go, you have to heal the reason that you aren't in that state. It's not helpful to just be like, oh, I'm just going to be feminine, or I'm just going to put on this like feminine facade, or I'm going to practice these feminine speaking. Like, no, right? You have to help these protective survival parts of yourself learn another way to be. And that takes work, takes inner work, it takes healing work. It's a transformational process. You need to heal, rewire, and learn how to create internal safety, regulate your nervous system, not just be more feminine. So the focus on being feminine is unhelpful at most and shaming at worst, like I said. And if you're like most of my clients, it's shaming and harmful because now you have one more thing that you judge yourself for not being enough of. So, when you have attachment trauma that is unhealed, you are primarily living in a survival response. Try communicating when you're triggered, right? So, you're primarily living outside your window of tolerance because you have a small window of tolerance. So, being in your feminine is like farthest from what you can be when your nervous system is stuck on its on state. So, the work that I do with my clients is to help them heal their attachment trauma through working with their nervous system and subconscious parts, core wounds, and core beliefs that developed to protect them, right? So that they can return to a regulated nervous system state, create a new belief system, widen their window of tolerance, and be able to help themselves re regulate and return back to a regulated state even after something happens quicker, right? So they aren't going into that fight, flight, freeze as often and living there. And so the result is that they suddenly do experience qualities of quote unquote feminine energy because they've gotten out of survival mode. They've learned how to feel safe in their bodies, to create safety in their bodies. They've healed and integrated parts of them that were wired for survival while trying to protect them from threats that are now holding them back from the love lives that they want to have. So we're working inside out. And the result is that you do feel empowered, confident, safe, secure, and whole in a way that you never did before. So you're going to be able to date in a totally different way when you are feeling secure, grounded, empowered, confident. You're going to be able to communicate in much more effective and healthy ways. You'll be able to have a deeper intimacy with people. You will be able to make better choices for yourself in who you choose because your wounds aren't choosing. And then you'll be able to keep that relationship and not have it blow up. Again, when our relationships keep blowing up, that's a sign that we have a very dysregulated nervous system. We've got attachment trauma. And so, all of this while being the best version of yourself, because there is safety now in your body. And just in case you're interested, I am taking on new one-on-one clients. So you can DM me if you'd like to explore working on this together, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can find the link in the description box to book a consult call. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I just want to talk about some of the things that we work on if you want to work with me. So obviously the first thing is the inner healing work. So you will identify and shift any internal blocks, unhealed core wounds, subconscious core beliefs about yourself, about love, about men that are in your love blueprint, your subconscious map for love, that have kept you stuck repeating these unfulfilling patterns with men. So healing that insecure attachment, codependency, people pleasing, or self abandonment, however it shows up for you, through healing your inner child. And you have a more than one inner child because you've had multiple different experiences where a wound was created, and that's a different part, right? Working with your shadows and actually integrating and loving. Helping your protective mechanisms that have been sabotaging your attempts at having secure, healthy, fulfilling, lasting love in your life, not need to do that anymore, not to be reactive the way that they have been anymore, not need to protect you the way that they have anymore, and integrate safety and security into your nervous system so you can be more regulated in what gets called that quote unquote feminine energy more of the time, and to be able to re-regulate yourself, self-soothe, and get back quicker if you do get triggered and into like a sympathetic nervous state, back into safety. So that's the first thing. It's the foundation. It is everything. Then, second thing is identity. So embodying a high value woman, a woman with high self-worth. So this means we are looking at what are the insecurities, fears, and negative self-beliefs that block you from meeting the right man by causing you to settle, to overwork, to fear rejection. Basically, any of your survival responses are tied to not feeling good enough at the core, right? And so helping you rewire those beliefs and those blocks and embody confident self-worth and inner security. So this inner shift is what makes you absolutely magnetic. And it's not only to extremely high caliber men who are right for you, but to opportunities, to money, to friendships, to opportunities in your work, in your life in general. The third one is clarity. So getting crystal clarity on what you need, want, and desire. A lot of us don't realize what we really need, and we talk ourselves out of it, and we end up settling for less than we really want, need, and desire, and then things don't work out because ultimately it wasn't what we really needed. And so when you are really clear on this and you really embody that I can have this, which you will, it makes it so much easier to stay focused in dating and not sidetracked by like shiny objects, and actually make the best choices for you. And you will not have to worry if you're being too picky or if your expectations are too high, because you will have this level of clarity. This level of clarity is also part of why my clients manifest dream partners so quickly. So our next one is understanding men. So you're going to get insights into how men operate and think and why they do what they do, because men are doing things differently than women are, right? They have a different operating system, so that you can truly see them for who they are and what their behaviors and words really mean. We will be releasing anger, distrust, or hurt towards men from the past that's blocking you from finding the one. You know, most women, we do really misinterpret men, and that adds all kinds of layers of anxiety and stress and confusion into the dating process. So when you get men, you will have so much less confusion. It'll be so clear, and you become that much more rare too, because very few women do, and it's a special thing for a man to meet a woman who really understands and appreciates men. So our next step is visibility. So positioning yourself online and offline so you can be found by your ideal man. So learning the skills and actually creating together a magnetic online dating profile. Now that you know exactly what you want, where you can go find those men, and how you can attract them, how they can find you, right? Visibility, marketing, essentially, right? And also how you can position yourself so you're actually repelling the wrong men and attracting those right ones in with so much ease. And then lastly is master dating securely. So master the art of dating securely without tricks, manipulations, games, just understanding the process of getting to commitment with a high caliber man who is right for you, and having absolute confidence and certainty in dating, knowing that you will meet your man. You're not just confused and second guessing yourself all over the place and wondering, if you are doing it right. You're going to be approaching dating in the most self-honoring, healthy, fun, and easy way. And it is inevitable that you will meet him, and it will be so easy when you date securely. And the bonus is that we do look at communication and communication skills. So you're going to learn the key communication skills you need when communicating issues, boundaries, needs, concerns with the men that you're dating. Good communication is the foundation of a lasting, healthy, secure relationship, which you can only have if you have, number one, right, you've healed some of the wounds and the dysregulation in the nervous system, right? But then when you have communication skills on top of that, first of all, having these skills is pretty rare, which is why so many relationships are filled with hurt feelings, resentment, and unnecessary conflict, and ultimately so many fail. And sometimes it's not that the partners couldn't have been compatible, it's that they didn't know how to communicate. And so that's the last piece. So if you're interested in chatting about working together, then send me a message, or find the link in the description box to set up a consultation call. All right, bye.